Hey, what is up guys? I'm KBHD here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 things in tech in the build quality department. So we've seen all kinds of crazy devices like the Casio G1 and the ThinkPad Toughbook that are extremely well built because they're intentionally ruggedized. For this video, we will not be including anything that is intentionally in that ruggedized department because that would be too easy. These things that we're going to be talking about today are the best built things in tech in both the ergonomics and the functionality and the quality department. These things are absolutely all around just really well built things, and you've probably already seen a lot of the things on this list. If you're curious in any of them, all the links are below. Let's get started. Number 5 is Gorilla Glass 2. It's one of the biggest names sort of every year in the sort of tech industry. When you see the spec sheet and you roll down and you see Gorilla Glass, a lot of people just kind of assume everything is Gorilla Glass, but not all smartphone and tablet glass panels are created equal. It's not scratch proof, but it is subject to a lot of pressure, especially when you drop it, and Gorilla Glass 2 can withstand a lot more pressure than pretty much any other hardened glass that you use in a device out there. Gorilla Glass 1, when it was first introduced by Corning, was really strong, but Gorilla Glass 2 is actually a thinner sheet and it maintains that strength. Regular glass will shatter after about 7,000 pounds per square inch, or PSI, while Gorilla Glass has been known to withstand upwards of 100,000 PSI, so good stuff. Gorilla Glass is actually found in devices pretty much everywhere. HTC phones, Motorola phones, Nokia phones, we see it all over the place in spec sheets. The iPhone 5 does not use Gorilla Glass. Yeah. Number 4 in this build quality department is aluminum. Now there are plenty of things that are made of aluminum, but we'll use this Mac Pro here as our example. Aluminum is often used in the highest quality built designs in, laptops and phones, and just the overall synonymous with high quality. And the phrase unibody aluminum design, which almost everyone uses all the time, isn't necessarily always literally what it means, but basically if you hear that it's aluminum unibody, it's probably going to be built very well. You can trust that things that are made of aluminum can and will take a beating. They maintain their shape, their structure, their rigidity, and their lightweightness when they're under pressure, and definitely more so than plastic. Now the Mac Pro happens to also be filled with aluminum, so it's really heavy. It's also really sexy. Number 3 is this guy. It's the GoPro. I have a full review of this guy right here in particular, the GoPro Hero 3, coming soon to my channel, so definitely subscribe if you want to see that. But basically, the GoPro series is very well known for its compact nature and its ruggedness. It's not necessarily built to be beaten and abused, but they're very well aware when they build this thing that you're going to be beating and abusing it and attaching it to crazy things and dropping it off places. And it actually comes with, well, you can get for it, a waterproof housing, so you can use this thing underwater. You can attach this thing to a helmet. I'm going to be doing some pretty interesting things with the GoPro when I do actually review it. Hopefully some things you guys haven't seen before, but the GoPro Hero 3 is just a hell of a camera, and it's got a really big sensor in it for some reason. So they've gotten a lot of great features in this tiny little body, and it's rugged, lasts well. Number 2 is the HTC One X. Now I personally happen to think this is one of the best looking phones of all time. I'll include my review down below the like button, but basically this is a really well built phone. The tolerances were extremely tight. Not only does it have Gorilla Glass 2 and an aluminum unibody design, but it's actually good looking, compact, nice specs. It was a really good smartphone. Not very long after it was released, a video was uploaded to YouTube of the HTC One X hammering a nail into a 2x4. I can't tell you how many times I cringed while watching this video, and I would never attempt that with any of my phones, but wow, that's awesome. And number 1 in the most well-built tech, the most durable, the most rugged, the most beastly, you guys probably already saw this coming, and it's barely even able to be called tech, but it's the Nokia 3310. This phone was released in 2000 and it had pretty average specs for a device that came out at that time. It was also just a basic device for people who needed a basic phone because that's what people bought phones for back then. This was a little bit on the chunky side, I'll admit that. It was 22 millimeters thick. It had a 1000 milliamp hour battery on the back that lasted months, and it had a display of, I believe, 84 by 84 pixels, monochrome display. and you could take an axe to it. Nokia nailed it with the build quality of this phone. The actual shell of it, if you drop the phone, might pop off. And that's okay because you can connect it back together and it continues working because the actual frame inside of that is pretty much indestructible. There are videos all over YouTube of attempting to destroy this thing, and there are memes all over the rest of the internet of people who have experience with attempting to destroy this thing. You cannot break a Nokia 3310. If you bought one and you wanted to get rid of it, you had to sell it because you were cursed. You can't throw out a working phone like that. The battery life also happens to last a really long time. When I said a month, I wasn't joking. It literally lasts a month on battery. And you would think that every other phone that came out during that time was as durable as the 3310, but nope, just the 3310. The Nokia 3310 is officially a BIOS, and legend has it they're still around, operating, beating in the hearts of cities everywhere. They're awesome. So there you go. Tech has been pretty awesome, and it's been well built recently. I'll give an honorable mention shout out to the Oppo Find 5. Unibody, well constructed, Gorilla Glass on the front, steel frame. If you want to check out the review, click it. I'll just leave that annotation. And I'll also give a shout out to the Nokia Lumia 920, which is another recent phone. It's a Windows phone, but it's got a pretty solid build as well. Very similar actually to the Find 5 in its frame. It didn't survive the sledgehammer test that the 3310 did, but I'll tell you what, it's a pretty darn good build quality phone. On the chunky side again, but nice. I also want to give a special shout out to the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4S, which had a glass front and a glass back. And the shout out goes to them for being the most used shattered phones of all time. I have never seen a phone that shattered that people continue to use. I know a lot of people who use shattered iPhones, which is fun for Apple, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, so shout out to them for that. Either way, thank you for watching. Have you ever used anything after it's broken, like continued to use it? I have, but I try not to. And also, if you want to check out any of the things I mentioned in this video, I'll have links to like information about them below. Hopefully the Nokia 3310 links don't break things around them. They're pretty awesome. But check out the links, and if you want to check out the rest of the products, feel free to do that. Yeah, don't buy a 3310. You'll never get rid of it. It's difficult to do that. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.